Welcome. All right, let's dive right into this beautiful exploration. Today, we're going to look at a wonderfully warm and relaxing reflection based on a recent piece by Sukesti Martono. Think of this explainer not as some heavy academic lecture, but more like a tausia ringan, a light, soothing reflection. Honestly, imagine we're just sitting out on the porch together enjoying a cup of warm tea on a really peaceful afternoon. Our source material today is basically going to act as a mirror for our hearts, giving us a chance to step back and look at how we connect with the people immediately around us. It's a gentle, restorative journey, and I am so excited to walk you through it.
So our core question today is actually incredibly simple. Are there rights of others, like our family, friends, or neighbors, that I just haven't fulfilled today? The reflection describes this question as a gentle, refreshing breeze for the soul. It's his daily prompt that kind of pulls us out of our busy, self-centered routines and reminds us of a fundamental truth. Life isn't just about us. It's truly about the goodness we spread to the people around us.
Okay, picture your life as this lush, beautiful garden. In this scenario, we are the trees. Now, as you know, a tree absolutely cannot survive in isolation. That garden is never going to stay green without small, interconnected rivers of water flowing through it. And those rivers? Well, those are our connections to other people. Without giving and receiving that life-giving water, our leaves turn brown and our branches wither. We literally need those daily connections to thrive.
This whole concept is deeply rooted in Islamic teachings. Drawing from the traditions of the Prophet Muhammad, this hadith emphasizes a profound sense of brotherhood and sisterhood. It teaches us that every single person around us holds a basic right over us. They have the right to be treated well, the right to be helped, and the right to be loved. We're obligated to not oppress or insult each other, but rather to fiercely protect and uplift one another.
Now, you might be wondering what the word right actually means here. When we hear the words right or obligation, we immediately tense up, don't we? We picture this massive, stressful financial loan from a bank. But there's a really beautiful distinction to make here. Fulfilling the rights of others in our daily lives is not some heavy debt. Instead, it's as light, simple, and refreshing as just giving someone a bright smile in the morning. It's about these small, manageable acts of kindness that instantly make someone else's day a little brighter.
All right, let's move into Section 1, Family, the Strong Roots.
Returning to that garden metaphor, our family represents the deep, strong roots planted firmly in the ground. They are our absolute foundation, the very base of our stability. So how do we actually fulfill the rights of these strong roots? The reflection gives us some highly practical, everyday examples. For our parents, it's their right to be respected and prayed for. Maybe that's just taking a brief second during a rushed morning to say, "Assalamu alaikum, Mom and Dad, I hope you stay healthy today." For our spouses, it's the right to be truly listened to, which means, yes, actually putting our phones down and giving them our undivided attention. And for our kids, they have the right to be guided with love, which might simply look like playing with them for just 10 minutes after a long day at work to give them that joyful connection they crave.
This Quranic verse elevates these everyday acts of kindness by framing them explicitly alongside the worship of God. Being good to those around us, parents, relatives, and neighbors, isn't just some nice social courtesy, it is literally a core part of spiritual worship. Every single time you listen to your spouse or play with your kids, you are actively fulfilling a divine expectation.
Let's just pause here for a second and revisit our grounding question. Looking at your strong roots, your family, are there rights of theirs that you haven't fulfilled today? Did you rush out the door without a kind word? Did you scroll through social media while your partner was trying to tell you about their day? Hey, it's totally okay if you did. The whole point of this mirror is just to notice it so we can water those roots tomorrow.
Moving on to Section 2, Friends, the colorful flowers.
Stepping out into the next circle, friends are the vibrant, colorful flowers that decorate our everyday routines. They bring the variety, the joy, and the beauty to our lives. And their rights are beautifully simple, but man, are they incredibly valuable. They have the right to be remembered, to be valued, and to be treated with absolute honesty. Sometimes fulfilling a friend's right is as effortless as just sending a quick text message. If you know a friend is going through a tough time, just messaging them to say, "Hey, how are you? I'm praying for you. Hope things go smoothly," completely fulfills that right. It shows them they are remembered.
On the flip side, this teaching warns us about the behaviors that act like poison to these colorful flowers. Quoting another teaching of the Prophet, we're reminded of the 3 signs of a hypocrite: lying when speaking, breaking promises, and betraying trust. This serves as a really stark reminder. If we want to maintain the beautiful friendships in our garden, we have to guard against these toxic habits. We absolutely cannot be the kind of friend who makes a promise and then conveniently forgets it. Honesty and reliability, those are non-negotiable rights.
The goal here is to be a profoundly reliable friend, to be like a huge tree providing cooling shade in the hot afternoon sun. Think about that intense joy you feel when someone is just there for you when you need the most. When you check in on a friend and they reply, "Thank you so much, your message really lifted my spirits." That is the exact feeling of providing shade. It's such a wonderful, rewarding way to fulfill their rights.
Once again, let's anchor ourselves with our core question. Think about the colorful flowers in your life right now. Are there rights of your friends that you haven't fulfilled today? Is there a text you left unread? A broken promise you need to go make right? Just let that question sit with you for a moment as we prepare to move into our widest circle.
Okay, Section 3. Neighbors, the protective fences.
In our garden, neighbors are those sturdy, protective fences that shield us from destructive winds. They might not be the roots we grow from or the flowers we admire up close every single day, but they provide the boundary of safety and community that allows our garden to exist in peace. And get this, there's a delightfully surprising anecdote from the Hadith about them. The angel Gabriel was constantly advising the Prophet Muhammad about the importance of neighbors. He emphasized it so much and so frequently that the Prophet actually began to think that neighbors were going to be given the legal right to inherit from one another. I mean, that perfectly highlights just how exceptionally important the surrounding community is in this tradition.
So, how do we go about reinforcing these protective fences? It's entirely about connection, not wealth. Fulfilling neighborly rights literally looks like smiling when you pass each other in the alleyway. It looks like offering a hand to help carry heavy groceries from the car. It means taking 5 minutes to chat with that elderly neighbor who might just be feeling a bit lonely. Or it's sharing a small plate of homemade treats you just baked. These simple actions link our hearts together, transforming a mere street of houses into a large protective family that actively looks out for one another.
And our final section, number 4, goodness is like a boomerang.
Okay, so we've looked at our roots, our flowers, and our fences. But how do we actually make this a daily practice? The recommended approach in our explainer today is what's called a nightly soul game. It's this super simple 3-step process to build your empathy and find some inner peace. Step 1, just pause every single night right before you go to sleep. Step 2, ask yourself who you helped today and whose rights you fulfilled. And step 3, if you realize you missed someone, actually, scratch that. When you realize you missed someone, simply plan to do better tomorrow. Tomorrow is always a fresh start to water the garden. This little guessing game really sharpens our emotional intelligence and brings a deep sense of calm to our evenings.
The ultimate takeaway here is this inescapable rule of the garden. Goodness is exactly like a boomerang. When you toss goodness out into the world, whether that's by respecting your parents, texting a friend, or smiling at a neighbor, it doesn't just disappear into the void. It always, always returns to you in the form of unexpected blessings, peace of mind, and a much softer heart.
We're going to wrap up this explainer with one final provocative variation of our core question. Today, what have I given to them? The reflection closes with a really beautiful prayer, asking for the strength to fulfill these daily rights and for a heart as soft as morning dew. I highly encourage you to take that thought with you today. Step out onto your porch, look at your garden, and ask yourself how you can water the roots, admire the flowers, and strengthen the fences in your life today. Thanks so much for joining me for this reflection, and I'll catch you next time.